Bachelor for life here. It's been a couple of days since I've done a video, and partially because I wanted to dig in deep on one. I got this one a couple of months back in one of my eBay wins, and I decided to carry it. I'm pretty partial to carrying my Cold Steel Code 4, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to carry something a little different. So I carried the 511. If you remember my first video, it was all pretty much brand new. You can see the tip's got some wear on it now, and then also you can see a little bit of little rough edge there. So I'll go back through this knife just so you know a little bit about it. It's the 511 Scout Tanto, 511 Tactical Scout Tanto, Aus 8 steel. It's the model number 514 blade tech design. It's got the thumb hole, which is nice. I'm not usually a huge proponent of that, but it actually works out really well for this knife. Depending on how you pull it out, you can actually just kind of flip it that way. I carry tip up right side with this one, so for the most part when I deploy it, I'm deploying it with the thumb hole. I do like the finger grooves that it has. The G10 handles, they're just grippy enough and pretty comfortable because of the finger grooves right here, that you get a really good purchase on it, and you don't feel like it's going to go anywhere when you're using it. I think my favorite part about the knife so far, though, it is, and normally I like the kind of the inconspicuous knife where it's deep carry, but the way this one's set up, this portion of the knife, of the handle, actually sticks up kind of out of your pocket, and usually I put a little paracord on that on most knives because they are deep carry. Gives you something extra to kind of grab onto. This one I found that it's really easy to get a hold of when it's in your pocket, so you can kind of deploy it quickly if you want, or if you need to. A few other things that I liked about it: the torque fasteners all the way around. I really haven't had to tighten it much, but when I flipped over the clip, the pocket clip, it was really easy in and out, and it gives you 4 different options as far as where you want to carry it: tip up, tip down, left or right. As far as utilizing the knife, the Tanto portion of it being kind of long and drawn out and not really sharp cut back like some of the Tantos that I have, I actually kind of dig that. When you're cutting, you can kind of set it and just use that point if you need to, which I like for cutting. You know, obviously I cut a lot of boxes and things like that, but and then the tip, it does kind of feel almost like a spear, where it's like straight in line. You know, I guess that gives it a pretty tactical, a very tactical look, very tactical advantage, I suppose you could say, just because it's straight out from the edge. I've noticed a lot of knives, especially with my my Tops buck, the Tantos actually draw back a little bit farther, so the Tantos up here, in comparison, I guess, with something like that with the Tops buck, it's just kind of a sharper cut back. The whole entire knife feels real pointy, or as Baby Son would say, it's very stabby, which I enjoy. Now, as far as the handles are concerned, so I looked this up, and the liners are actually a 420J2 stainless inside, and it does have steel liners on both sides, kind of pancaked in between the G10 handles, which feels really nice. It feels heavy duty. I haven't done any prying with it, but I have done quite a bit of cutting with it. Everything from cutting my apple open, cutting, cut some different fruit with like oranges and stuff like that, and then obviously the typical stuff. I've cut some wire with it. I've cut, cardboard. I cut some like buffer pads. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but like a buffing pad, almost like a Scotch-Brite pad. I cut one of those the other day on a piece of equipment I was working on. And for an Aus 8, it stayed fairly sharp. I did get into it a little bit here on the tip, and you can kind of see the effects of that right there. I got a little chunklet right out of there. So I have beat it up a little bit, not too bad, but so far with 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks, about 10 days actually, of carrying this thing, I haven't really put it through the ringer as far as beating the heck out of it, but when you compare it to what I've done to this one, I think it could hold up to it. I think it could hold up to what I've done with the Code 4 overall, but I would probably still rely on the Code 4 overall because of the serrations. I like the serrations much better. But for a plain edge overall design, lightweight, it's very comparable. I think this thing comes in at like 5 ounces. So it's very comparable to the Code 4 as far as weight. I do like, as much as I've said it before, I don't like liner lock usually, because I'm so used to the triad lock where I don't, I really, that thing's locked and you know it. It's not gonna close on you even if you're putting some ass into it. This liner lock it seems like it's gonna hold up very well. I like the fact that they made it out of a 420 J2. It is very tight. So when that thing opens up, you can try to watch that. Even barely opening it up, it pops quickly. Unlike a cheaper M-Tech knife, even assisted, that pops open and it barely comes over, and this knife can close on you. Now there is a way to fix that, but ultimately what it breaks down to is the quality of the steel and the quality of the knife maker. But I think I would trust this one. It's still not my favorite. Liner locks are still not my favorite design, but I think I trust this one. Now when it comes to the washers, these are the bronze washers. You can't really see it, but these are the bronze washers, which I prefer bronze washers. I feel like over an extended period of time, opening and closing it, fidgeting with it, playing with it, prying with it, what have you, the nylon ones seem to get warped, so you get kind of a wobble in your blade. The bronze ones seem to last a little bit longer. So I'd have to say after 2 weeks, 10 days, let's not church it up, dirt. Over a 10-day period, I think I'm going to continue to carry this one. It is kind of a secondary knife. I still carry the Code 4 every day, which is that's my baby. That's my favorite. But I would say that if you can get a hold of one of these, I think Knife Center's got them, or maybe it's Blade HQ. They got them for about 40 bucks. I'd say if you can get a hold of one of these, I'd get it. They're discontinued, so I'd get a hold of it as soon as you can, because I doubt they're going to be around for much longer. So that's all I've got for that one. Let me know what you think. If you've got any other blades that I bought in that package that you want to see a little bit closer, let me know. I'll carry it for a couple of weeks and talk about it. For now, that's Bachelor for Life out.